Beruchim Abayim Rabotai, welcome to another edition of our Thursday night class. Tonight we are studying Parashat Noah. Tonight's shi'ur is being studied L'Refuah Shelema HaChamsiyon Ben Esther. Inna Refanalo, Inna Refanalo, Inna Refanalo Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Refuato Kenomar Abo V'chen Yirasom V'nomar Amen. That is the great master Hacham Levi, chief rabbi of Panama, that is in the hospital not doing well, and he's a very important Jew, not only for the Panamanian community, but for world Jewry. He's definitely one of the great leaders of Kehilot Kedoshot. Very important Jew, and we need to pray for him. And Be'ezrat Hashem, the Zechut of the Torah that we're learning, he will have a Refuah Shelema. He's from a very select group of students of Acham Ezra'atiyeh, Alav Shalom, the Rosh Yeshiva Purat Yosef, and there's not too many of those students that are left. So anytime one of the remaining Talmidim are in trouble, so that's troubling for everybody. So Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yishlach Lo Refuah Shelema B'toch She'ar Cholei Amo Yisrael. Amen. We are studying Parashat Noah. I didn't come here tonight to tell you stories about the flood, even though those are very good stories, nor to talk about all the different animals that Noah brought on the Teva, even though that's also a good story. But we came here tonight to try to analyze the Parashah on a little higher level, or as we say, a little behind the scenes, so we have a good foundation of what's taking place. Ele toledot Noah. Noah is Sadiq. Tamim haya b'dorotav. Noah was a Sadiq, he was a Tamim, he was a righteous man, he was a perfect man. And everybody assumes because he was a Sadiq and because he was righteous, that's why God saved him. And all the tens of thousands or however many people there were in the world, Noah stood out because of his sitkut and his timimut, and therefore God gave him a pass, and he told him to build a teba, and he saved himself. But if you look at the end of last week's parasha, it doesn't say that. It says, "V'Noach matza chen b'einei Hashem." That means Noah found grace in the eyes of God, which really means, according to the Gemara Sanhedrin on Kuf Het, the Gemara says that really also Noah, there was Gzar Din on him. Noah also should have been drowned by the great flood. He also wasn't so innocent, but because Noah matzahen, he had a certain grace in the eyes of God, whatever that means. So Borei Olam said, okay, because of your charm, we're going to save you, but really also, you're also guilty. So we have to understand, what? Is God showing favoritism here? If the man is guilty like everybody else, so he's got to drown like everybody else. What is this business over here that God, for whatever reason, why he likes how Noah looks, he had a good voice, so what does it mean that God saved Noah? Noah matzahen b'einei Hashem. Asher lo yikach shochad. God doesn't take bribery. God doesn't be influenced. So we need to understand exactly what zechut did Noah have. In order to understand this question, I must introduce to you a rule that was said by the Arizal. And I have no choice but to involve ourselves tonight, as much as I don't like to do it, but I have no choice. I'm going to have to involve all of you in the subject of Gilgul. We don't have to dim the lights or anything like that, but we're going to have to talk about it because this is the subject of the evening. And I'm not an expert on Gilgul Neshamot by any means. I don't know exactly how it works and who is a Gilgul and who isn't and why it happens and all the different klalim, the rules. But just Gilgulim 101, Gilgulim for dummies. We could just understand it on a superficial level. The Arizal says terminology. Sometimes the neshama has to come back down again. So the first round is called an Av. And the second round is called the Tolda. Which means if somebody has a certain neshama, so he's the father, and then that neshama gets recycled and comes down again in another generation, so you call that like the child. The Tolda. That's why, for example, in the vidui that we make every day, we say, Hatanu, Avinu, Pashanu, Anahnu, Va'abotenu. What does that mean? We're making vidui. I sinned and my father sinned. What's your business about your father's sin? Chutzpah now? You're going to start now making vidui for your father's sin? First of all, who are you to make vidui for your father's sin? And how dare a child come along now and start talking about his father's sins? Hatanu, Avinu, Anahnu, I accept. Va'abotenu. So the explanation that Arizal says, Avotenu means our father, meaning our previous Gilgul. Which means we could be a product, and therefore could be our Av, the one that came before us in the system, made a sin. So that's us. So therefore we have a right to come along and we need to fix up Ben Begilgul Zeh, Ben Begilgulim Aharim. That being said, the holy books bring down that Noah's zechut was not his own, but it's because he was going to get fixed in future generations. A tikkun of some sort was going to be made. So Noah got saved al Shema Atid. He got saved for the future. Who was Noah's tikkun? So we have two different approaches over here. The Arizal says that Noah's tikkun came through Moshe Rabbeinu. And Rabbi Menachem Azariah Mipano, the Rama Mipano, says that the tikkun of Noah came through Yosef as-Sadiq. We have to understand both paths in order to get a full picture. But those were the two tikkunim. Hence, we read the explanation. According to this, we read the pasuk. V'Noach matzach en b'einei Hashem. And Noah found favor in the eyes of God. Do you know why he found favor in the eyes of God? Because ele toledot. Because the following are the toledot. That's the reincarnation. That's the second generation. That's the Gilgul. Because he had toledot. He had two Gilgulim. That's why it says ele toledot Noah. Which means Noah came back twice. In one generation he came back as Ish Sadiq. Who's a Sadiq? Yosef a Sadiq. Yosef is called a Sadiq. And in one generation he came back as Tamim. Tamim is the perfect one. That's Moshe Rabbeinu, who is considered the perfect one in his generation. And therefore, Haya Bedorotav. Noah lived in a few generations. He lived in the generation of Yosef, and he lived in the generation of Moshe Rabbeinu. So therefore, the pasuk is telling us very clearly. Yay, v'Noach matzahin b'nei Hashem. You know why? Not because of himself, but because of Ele Toledot. The Gilgulim. How many Gilgulim? Noah. He came back twice. One is Sadiq and one is Tamim Bidorotav in his generations. Oh, now already we took the whole Torah now, and we just uncovered a whole box over here. Which means now we're looking at these Pesukim that we've seen for so many years, and all of a sudden the holy rabbis are opening up new avenues and new derachim and new paths. If this is true what we're saying, we can go a step further. The Arizal writes that when the pasuk says Vayoled Noach Shelosha Banim, and Noah had Shelosha Banim, he had 3 sons. Well, we know who the three sons are, Shem, Ham, and Yafet. But that's the pshat. But it says that Noah had three sons. Noah was made from three banim. Ben. Well, Ben. 3 times Ben, 52 times 3 is 156. 156 is the same Gematria as Yosef. Yosef is also 156. So Arizal says, Vayoled Noach, Noach was Nolad. He went into the Gilgul of who? Of Shlosha Banim. Into the one that has the Gematria of 3 times Ben, which is Yosef. So there's already... Why am I showing you this? Because you could start looking at this Torah over here, and it's telling you a totally different story, and it's giving you totally different facts, and it's opening it up on a different level, and the Pesukim are right in front of your face. And you never thought that, what are you talking? There's Gilgulim in the Pesukim? Yeah, there's Gilgulim in the Pesukim. We didn't say anything yet, we're just beginning. Just to give you a flavor. Because you're going to say, is there any connection between Yosef as-Sadiq and Noah? Were their lives similar? Which means if I'm doing a study, do I find any similarities? Because that's what you're supposed to do. In Gilgul, you're going to find there was a common thread that was woven in between both of their lives. Well, one thing is for certain. The Pasuk says in the beginning of the book of Shemot, and I'm going to take my time to show you all the sources, because you have to see this inside. In the beginning of Shemot it says, these are the names of the children that came down to Mitzrayim: Yaakov, Ishu Betoba'u, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, etc. And then it says, altogether there were 70. The Yosef Hayab Mitzrayim, and Yosef was in Egypt. So comes Rashi and says, what do you mean Yosef was in Egypt? Ma ba lelamedenu. Well, we didn't know that Yosef was in Egypt. Where do we think he was? He was in Miami? Where was Yosef? Ela leodi'acha tzidkatos shel Yosef, to show me the tzidkut of Yosef. Hu Yosef haro'eh et son aviv, he was the shepherd of his father. Hu Yosef shaya b'Mitzrayim v'na'asa melech ve'omed b'tzidko. That means Yosef lived in a perverted country, Mitzrayim, and we know that the Mitzrayim, they were involved in all sorts of immorality and all sorts of To'ivot, all sorts of abominable behavior. And Yosef's greatness was that he didn't get influenced. He was Yahid Bedoro, he was one of his generation that lived amongst all the Risha'im, and he did not get influenced. Deja vu all over again. That's exactly the story of Noah. Noah is Sadiq, that even though his entire generation was corrupted, and they were pervasive, and they were degenerate, and they were on the lowest level, Noah did not get affected. Noah remained Ish Sadiq. So you see, if you want to start drawing parallels between the life of Yosef and the life of Noah, already you see that there's some connections. Furthermore, one of the Averot of Noah, we could say an Averot of Noah, is if you remember when he came out of the Teba, one of the first things he did after he brought the sacrifices, he planted a vineyard. And after he planted the vineyard, it grew miraculously. And then he squeezed the grapes and he made a l'chaim. He made a geffen. And he got drunk. It seems the wine was very strong. And there's claims against Noah. What are you planting a vineyard for? And he got drunk, and that's considered avon. And from that avon led to other problems. So one of Noah's issues was that after the teva, he drank. He drank himself drunk. It's interesting to note, and the Pesukim point this out, that when the brothers go down to Yosef, so it says, They sat down with Yosef after the whole story is over, and they sat down and they had a se'udah. Right? The pasuk says, "Vayishtu vayishkiru immo," and they drank. They got drunk with him. Rashi, umiyom shemachruhu, from the day that they sold Yosef, lo shatu yain velo hu shata yain. They didn't drink wine either. Ve'oto hayom shatu, which means, you think it's a coincidence? Noah drank wine prematurely, so Yosef has to make a tikkun. So he went for however many years, and he didn't drink wine. It wasn't a Nazir, but he knows I have to fix Noah. That's part of the unfinished business that I have to take care of in my life. Excessive wine, so therefore no wine. That's a significant parallel. We go further. If you want to question what was the sin of Noah, which means he got saved on the account that other people were going to fix him. What was wrong? Noah was good, but what was his avon? So the holy books bring down he had two avonot, Noah. Number one, he did not rebuke the generation. You think about it, it's amazing. He's a rabbi, Noah. You're building a tibah for 120 years. You weren't able to give a musar to one guy to get him, to bring him to your side, which means, I don't want to give a comparison, but take the most boring rabbi, take the guy that has zero talent. He has three guys also that comes to his class also. Which means, Noah, 120, that means he didn't rebuke the people. So there's a claim against him. You should have given them musar. You didn't give them musar too much. And number two, the claim is, Hatam Sofer says this, he didn't pray for them. Okay, so now God tells them, you know what, the whole generation is going to be wiped out. Okay. Okay, what? You have to pray for them. But no, you're going to be saved. Oh, I'm good. I have a teva. Is there enough room for my wife? For your wife? You have 3 suites, 4 suites for you? And no problem, you're good. Oh, I'm good, okay. Noah, we have a rule that the captain goes down with the ship. The captain doesn't, when he sees that there's a problem, he doesn't right away escape and take a raft and let everybody drown. Noah saved himself, like they say in the Mashal, Noah is a Sadiq in a fur coat. What does it mean a Sadiq in a fur coat? They say everybody else is freezing. And the Sadiq comes in the fur coat, and he says, I don't feel anything, and I'm good, I don't know what everybody's complaining about. What are you shaking? Why are your lips all blue? I'm good. So Noah's good, he has the teva, and he's fine. So there's a claim, Noah, what kind of leader are you? A leader is supposed to pray for class. So that's one of the things that the Zohar HaKadosh is so strong on this, that if you look in the Haftarah, again, I'm going to be patient just to read everything inside, just so we don't make a mistake, because we're now getting involved. In the Haftarah it says, I should notice Haftarah was my Bar Mitzvah Haftarah, but I'm still going to read it inside. Pasuk Tet. Ki me Noah zotli, asher nishba'ti me'avor me Noah od al ha'aretz. The Navi, Yeshaya, refers to the Mabul as me Noah. Noah's flood. Now that is not complimentary. Which means, they name hurricanes. Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Wilma and Hurricane etc. So the Zohar HaKadosh says, Yeshaya says that they named the Mabul Hurricane Noah. Now that's not a compliment, because this was not just Stam hurricane. This didn't wipe out the 9th district in New Orleans. That's I don't know if that's so bad. This already knocked out the entire universe, the entire globe, maybe except for a couple of areas in Eretz Israel. So to call the flood Hurricane Noah is very unflattering. And the Zohar says it was meant for that. The Zohar says it's your fault, Noah. It's your flood. You caused it. You know why you caused it? Because you didn't rebuke the people, and if you would have rebuked them, they would have made teshuvah, and you didn't pray, because if you would have prayed, could have been, the thing would have been forgiven. Therefore, you know what? Me Noah. You're also part of it. No, but yeah, we saved you because you have good people coming out of you. You have Toladot, you have Ish Sadiq, you have Ish Tamim, they're going to fix your mess. But you should know, Me Noah. When was he fixed? So, if you remember, many years later, the Jewish people worshipped the Egel. After they worshipped the Egel, the golden calf, what happens? God comes to Moshe Rabbeinu this time. And he tells Moshe Rabbeinu, that's it. The people have sinned. Leave me alone. V'achale otam keraga. I will destroy them immediately. Ve'escha legoy gadol. And I will start again from you. Sound familiar? Deja vu all over again. Exactly what God told Noah. Leave me alone. I'm going to destroy the whole world, and we're going to start over from you. And that's what happened. Which means, what God told Moshe Rabbeinu, that's already Shnai Mikra ve'Had Targum. That's already Hazara. That's already what God told Noah years before, and it happened. He kept his word, God. He destroyed the whole world, and from Noah, we're all from Noah, by the way. There was two worlds. There's the world of Adam and Rishon, and then there's the world of Noah. We're all considered Bnei Noah. We all descend from Noah. He's our great-great-great-great-grandfather. Look at who we are. You have to come from Noah. So we come from Shem. Shem ben Noah. So they call us Semites, because we come from Shem. But the point is, Moshe Rabbeinu was given the same option. Oh, but Moshe Rabbeinu at that moment, he knew he was being tested. He says, I'm not going to make the same mistake as Noah did. Because Noah was passive. When God told him, I'm going to destroy the whole world, I'm going to start again from you, Noah nodded his head. Amen, ken yiratzon, finished. He didn't react. He didn't beseech God. Even when Avraham Avinu was alive and God vowed to destroy Sodom, Avraham wouldn't let him do it. And that's Sodom. That's one little area. That's Las Vegas. A bunch of Rishaim over there in a certain area. And Avraham Avinu couldn't tolerate it. And now all of a sudden they're going to destroy the whole world. And what's Noah's reaction? Okay. I'm not going to argue. Why are you going to argue? Pray. So Moshe Rabbeinu now is being tested because he's the Tikkun of Noah. And God tells him, I'm going to destroy the whole world and I'm going to start again from you. And you know what Moshe Rabbeinu says? Oh, Bidiyuk. He says, no sir. He says, Borei Olam, if you're going to destroy Klal Yisrael, meheni na misifrecha asher katafta. Erase me from the book. Which really means, take me. Meheni na. Oh, this is exactly what God wanted to hear. Which means this is a captain that's going to go down with the ship. If you're going to destroy them, destroy me. All of a sudden, the bells went up in Shamayim. Oh, ding, 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 you fixed it. You made the Tikkun. But I'm looking in the Pesukim, because I'd love to see a connection, if I could find something over here with Noah. And the Haidah says, if you take the words, Meheni, erase me, boggle the letters, Mem, Het, Nun, Yud. You know what Meheni stands for? Me Noah. It's the same exact letters. Meheni is Me Noah. Which means, Moshe Rabbeinu understood this critical moment of history. He knew exactly where he stands. We cannot make the same mistake twice. I have to fix it. So he says, Meheni. The same exact language. Me Noah. Noah's hurricane. So he made the Tikkun. Now watch. I think this is fascinating. Everybody knows about Noah's Ark. But they don't talk too much about Moses' Ark. Yeah, Moses had an ark also. You don't hear too much about it. They're not even searching for it. You have archaeologists today in Turkey scouring the mountains of Ararat in search of Noah's Ark. But they forgot about Tevat Moshe. I'm not making this up. You heard about Tevat Moshe. Isn't that a little odd to you? That when Moshe Rabbeinu was a little baby, his mother also puts him in a Teva. So he had like a similar life as Noah. Both of them found themselves in a Teva. But I want to go further. Rashi says it in his parasha that in Noah's Teva, v'chafarta ota mibayit u'mihutz. They had to put tar on the teva to insulate it from the water. So they tarred it on the outside to insulate it, and they also had to tar it on the inside. So that she says, and I quote, again, I'm going to find it. Oh, here it is. However, b'tevato shel Moshe, in the teva of Moshe, al yedeh shaya mayim tashim, daya bechor b'fnim b'zefet b'bachutz. In Moshe Rabbeinu's teva, they only tarred it on the outside, they didn't tar it on the inside. So that she already is making differences between the construction. The simple interpretation is Moshe Rabbeinu's teva, he was in calm waters. You didn't have to make it such insulation, so they tarred it on the outside. Noah was a maboon. So they had to make sure from the inside, from the outside. Then Rashi says another explanation. Kede shelo yariach otot tzadik reach rach shel zefet. Listen, we don't want Moshe Rabbeinu was a tzaddik. You know he's a baby, he was a tzaddik. We don't want to have to smell the fumes of the tar. So therefore we had Rahmanut on Moshe Rabbeinu. So it says by Moshe Rabbeinu they only tarred it on the outside, so everybody else can smell it. And Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't have to have Reyach now. But Noah, he really doesn't deserve to be saved in the first place. So therefore let him smell it. I'm tarred on the inside, I'm tarred on the outside. So the Pasuk says, V'chafarta oto mibayit u'mihutz. You know what the rabbis say? The word V'chafarta is the same word as kapara. Noah needed a kapara. Noah needed a tikkun. How come you didn't save your generation? He needed a kapara for himself through other people, through Yosef and Moshe. V'chafarta oto mibayit, from inside u'mbachutz. His tikkun was for himself, and it had to take place through other people. In Moshe Rabbeinu's case, however, himself he was a tzaddik. Therefore it says by Moshe, V'chafarta oto mebachutz. He only needed the tikkun externally for somebody else, but he himself was a tzaddik. What he went through was just to fix the situation of Noah. So, two tevot, two arks, and the construction of them are hinting to this concept as well. Now we go a little further. Look at when Noah goes on the Teva. How did you understand this pasuk? God tells Noah, oh, look what it says here. Vayomer Hashem leNoah, Bo ata v'chol betecha lateva. Go on the teva. Ki otecha ra'iti tzaddik lefanai bador hazeh. You know, I've noticed that you're a tzaddik in this generation. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu was the tikkun of Noah. Mehenina. Me Noah. I'm praying for the generation. God tells Noah, you know why you're going to get saved and I'm telling you to go on the Teva? Because of Moshe Rabbeinu. How many generations was Moshe from Noah? You can make this calculation. You don't have to be a Kabbalist. No. From Noah to Avraham is 10 generations.
And 26.
From Avraham to Moshe is 7 generations. Avraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, Levi, Kehat, Amram, Moshe. So from Noah to Moshe Rabbeinu is 17 generations. The numerical value of the word hazeh. Hazeh, he is 5, Zayin is 7, and he is 5. 5, 5, and 7 is 17. Comes God and says to Noah, Boy lateva, you know why? Ki otecha ra'iti tzaddik lefanai, because I see it tzaddik in front of me. You don't deserve to be saved on your own right, but there's a tzaddik lefanai. When? Bador hazeh, in the 17th generation from you. Bador hazeh. In the future, you're going to be fixed. So therefore, you have what to rely on now to go on to the teba. Bador hazeh. Incidentally, and I'm not going to count it for you, but if you want to do something for homework, you could take the word Sadiq lefanai bador hazeh, and it equals exactly the same numerical value as Moshe Rabbeinu. Which means God was telling him, you're going to get fixed. If this is true, what we're saying, go to Shemot. You see, the whole Torah is interconnected. What happened in Parashat Noah is connected to Parashat Shemot. It's all one big story. But you can't learn them independently. Till now, Noah's Noah. You have no right to look at Shemot. I have every right to look at Shemot. You can't understand the events of Noah unless you know what happened in Shemot. Look at the beginning of Shemot, when Moshe Rabbeinu was born. Well, they must have known he had a Noah connection, because they put him in a teva. They had to know something. That's strange. I put him in it's got to be other ways to save him. I don't know. To me, it's such a coincidence. Teva, two guys. It's too strange. But when he was born, look what it says in Perek Bet, Pasuk Bet. Vatere oto kitovu. They saw he was good. And Rashi says he was lighting up the whole house, Moshe Rabbeinu, and he was born circumcised. V'titzpeneu shelosha yirachim. V'lo yachila od atzivilo. She couldn't hide him anymore. V'tikach lo tevat gomeh. She took a teva, and she put it in the waters. Interesting. She saw that he was good, so she decided to put him into a teva. What's the connection? So he was good, so you put him in a teva. What's the numerical value of the word tov? Tov is 17. Vatere oto ki tovu. Yocheved saw already that he's the 17th generation ki tovu from Noah. And therefore she understood the Ruach HaKodesh that we have to start making the Tikkun over here for Noah. So just like Noah went into the Teva, we have to start the process again and put Moshe Rabbeinu in the Teva again. Because that's what God said. Ki otecha ra'iti tzaddik lefanai bador hazeh. And this is the dor hazeh. Vatere oto ki tov. He's the Tov generation. And therefore we have to begin the process. Hence, she made a Teva for Moshe Rabbeinu. It's wow. It's nothing short than wow. There's no question about it. There's a big wow. When you're writing it, put a capital W on that wow. That's a big wow. The bigger wow is that most of us didn't know this till tonight. Where have we been? We've been learning the Torah for 40 years. Every week we're opening up. Now you go out of this class, tell them, Noah, Moshe, Yosef. What are you talking about? Noah, Moshe. I think you're on hallucination pills. Most people will swear that there's no connection between the two. But learning it, you'll say, what are you talking about? What's the question? How can't you see it? It's blatant. It's right in front of you. The Pesukim are screaming at you. We go further. I think it's very, very telling. Moshe Rabbeinu's name. It's the last name you'd expect. When Batya Bat Paro finds Moshe, so he comes along, V'tikrad Shemo Moshe, V'tomer ki min hamayim mishitihu. It's like not a sanctified Moshe because I drew him from the water. That's Rabban Shel Kol Yisrael. The greatest names, some name Shemuel that has God's name in it, Aleph Lamed. You have certain names that have great meanings to it. Even Rabbi Ishmael, he has Ishmael. There's holy names. And here, the name that stuck, even though the Midrash says he had 10 names. Yekutiel, Avigedor, Avisuko, the most wonderful names Moshe Rabbeinu had, which were all spiritual. And what's the name that stuck? Moshe. Why? Because I drew him from the water. It's like
if you spell it backwards. Spell it backwards.
I could spell it backwards, but I'm not dyslexic, Baruch Hashem. Well, they didn't call him Hashem. They called him Moshe. You're right. So if a guy was dyslexic, the name makes sense. But then no one called him Hashem. They called him Moshe. So the explanation we have to say is like this. Batya prophesied and she didn't know what she was prophesying about. When she named Moshe, you named the person according to his essence, according to his tikkun, according to what his function is, according to what his purpose is. So she came along and said, we have to call this boy Moshe, because you know what one of his main tikkunim is? Ki min hamayim mishitiu, because I saved him from the water. Who was saved from the water? Noah. And therefore, since Noah was saved from the water, ki min hamayim mishitiu, so therefore his name is Moshe, so he'll remember his tikkun, he remembers his purpose, so there's no question about it. Furthermore, if we go into the first conversation that Moshe Rabbeinu has with God. Now again, if the theory is correct, of course, in Shemot Perek Dalet is it going to be, or Perek Gimal, when God sees Moshe Rabbeinu, when God appears to him at the burning bush. Right, so God tells him, Shal na'alecha, take off your shoes. That's at airport security, even in those days, they had to take off your shoes. Everything's in the Torah. So, again, you have to assume that the first time God is going to talk to Moshe, he's got to talk to him about his tikkun. It's got to come up in a conversation. I know there's other important things that have to be discussed. You got to talk about the Jews in Egypt. You want to talk about the future, Mashiach, all great stuff. But it's got to come up if this is so integral for Moshe Rabbeinu to fix Noah, and this is part of the Tikkun HaOlam, the whole universal Tikkun. It's got to come up, and Moshe Rabbeinu brings up the conversation. Moshe Rabbeinu comes along and says, and I quote, I'm going to find the pasuk for you. Moshe Rabbeinu he's delaying. He doesn't want to take the Jews out of Egypt because he doesn't think he's worthy. So what does he say? Back and forth, they're not going to listen. And Borei Olam says, don't worry, they will listen. And then he says like this. Pasuk Yud. Vayomer Moshe Lashem, Bi Adoni, Lo ish devarim anochi. I'm not a man of devarim. I'm not a man of speech. I have a problem with my speech. Simple explanation. He had a lisp. I'm not the communicator that you need. You need somebody to negotiate with Paro. Lo ish devarim anochi. To me that would have been enough. But then look what he says. Gam metemol, gam meshilshom, gam me'az. From then I haven't. From when? This is the first time he talked about Olam. What is he telling Olam? I was never ish devarim, not today, not yesterday, not the day before. Gam me'az, wait, I've been me'az already going all the way back from 1,000 years ago. In the explanation is Moshe Rabbeinu said, I understand I'm not worthy because I know I'm the Gilgul of Noah. And what was Noah's problem? He didn't pray. Lo ish devarim. I know that the reason why Moshe Rabbeinu was kivad peh v'kivad lashon is because that's the sin of Noah. He sinned in his lashon because he didn't use his tongue the right way. He didn't use his speech to pray, and therefore Moshe Rabbeinu was born with that speech impediment. And Moshe Rabbeinu admits it to God. I'm not worthy. Lo ish devarim, not from today. Me'az, from time immemorial. So what does God tell Moshe Rabbeinu? Vayomer Hashem elav, mi sampeh le'adam. Who do you think made that? I gave that to you, so I can remind you of your purpose in your life. Elo Anuchi Hashem, and therefore va'atalech. Go, and go fix it. Va'anuchi yeh im picha. I'll be with you. Which means, this is my design. I put the blemish on you so it'll be very obvious for you that your tikkun has to come in the lashon. And how did he fix it? Mehenina. How do you say mehenina with your speech? So therefore it came up, and that's what they were talking about at that time. Furthermore, if we just want to connect all these dots, and there's a lot of dots, and I cannot go through all of them with you tonight. But somebody asked a question, and it's a valid question. Go to Shemot Lamed Gimal. Look at this. Now we're jumping to Parashat Ki Tisa. Who would have thought Ki Tisa to Parashat Noah? Yeah, we're going to even go further in a minute. Perek Lamed Gimal Pasuk Yud Bet. Moshe Rabbeinu was talking in a whole discussion, philosophical discussion. Why is that Tzaddik Vera'no? Why do the righteous people suffer? Why did the Rishayim prosper? God, show me your countenance. I want to understand you. Hareni nat kevodecha. Exactly. So in one of these Pesukim it says like this. And God, ve'ata amarta, you told me, yeda'ticha b'shem, you told me your ways that I may comprehend you. Vegam masata hen be'enai. And you also found favor. I found favor in your eyes. Where does it ever say in one pasuk in the Torah that Moshe Rabbeinu found hen in the eyes of God? Doesn't say it once. And Moshe Rabbeinu, honest man, doesn't lie. He says, and you yourself, God, you said that you found favor in my eyes. Well, I found favor in your eyes. V'gam matzata hen be'enai. Moshe Rabbeinu says, not now. Then v'noach matzah hen be'enai Adonai. So Moshe Rabbeinu is connecting us. So it wasn't this round. It was the last round. What's the difference? I'm the same person. It's the same wiring. So therefore, yeah, you said it then. Not bad. Not bad. We go a step further. You know, I'm going to take you back to Parashat Bereshit. I'm going to go forward, we'll go backwards, we'll go upside down, we'll go everywhere today. It's like a roller coaster. Go to Parashat Bereshit. We're wearing out the pages tonight in the Chumash. It's good. Hafoch ba v'hafoch ba. Look what it says at the end of Parashat Bereshit. Right before the flood, Vayomer Hashem, Lo yadon ruchi ba'adam le'olam, b'shagam u'basar, v'ayu yamav 120 shana. God says, listen, at the end of the day, b'shagam u'basar, at the end of the day, man is made out of flesh, And you know what? I'm giving him another 120 years, and that's it. What is the simple pshat of the pasuk? God said, listen, I gave them a lot of time. I see human beings are made up of flesh and blood. They're weak. They don't know how to control the Yetzer Hara. I'm giving them 120 years. And that was the day that God told Noah, build the Teva. And the Teva took Noah 120 years to build. And after 120 years, God destroyed the world. So God's setting the X on the wall now. That's it, not enough. In 120 years from now, I'm going to destroy the world. Okay, finished. That's what he said. That sets up the parasha. Ve'hayu yamav 120 shana. Finished. Comes the Gemara in Chulin. The Gemara asks, Moshe min ha-Torah minayin? It's a strange question. Where's Moshe Rabbeinu hinted to in the Torah? Where's Moshe Rabbeinu hinted to in the Torah? Forget about hinting. He's written 364 times in one parasha. And the Gemara comes as if it's, can anybody find me an allusion of Moshe in the Torah? Anybody know where Moshe Rabbeinu is in the Torah? If the Gemara would ask, Eliyahu Mansour min ha-Torah minayin? And that's a good question. If somebody can find Eliyahu Mansour in the Torah, it's a hadush. You can show me somewhere my name's written. It's exciting. But Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabban Shekol Yisrael, as if the Gemara is struggling, minayin, where is it? And more shocking is the Gemara's answer. Oh, we found them. Oh, where did you find them? In Parashat Bereshit. On Parashat Bereshit. In which pasuk? Vayomer Hashem lo yadun ruhi ba'adam le'olam b'shagam hu basar. The word b'shagam, Gematria 345. The same numerical value as Moshe. So b'shagam is Moshe, because the same numerical value. Vayu yamad 120 shana. Moshe Rabbeinu lived 120 years. So you see, right? He's entered over there. But now we understand. The Gemara is not asking where's Moshe's name in the Torah. The Gemara knows already that Moshe is a Tikkun of Noah. So the Gemara is asking Moshe, that Moshe min ha-Torah minai. The Moshe with the Noah connection, where do you see that type of Moshe in the Torah? So he goes, right before the flood, God says, I'm going to destroy the whole world, but I'm going to be able to save Noah b'shagam u'basar because of Shagam, who's Moshe 345, because of the man that's going to come, who's going to live 120 years. So he's going to fix it. Therefore, the plan works. Which means Moshe min ha-Torah minayin in Parashat Noah. Better. It's right before the flood. But Borei Olam mentions already in the allusion to Moshe Rabbeinu before the flood starts, because he's the key. So in order that it can go further. Now, if what we're saying is true, so we have to say the following also. One of the claims against Noah was what? He didn't rebuke the generation. He didn't get anybody to make teshuvah. What was he supposed to do? So there's a saying that they say over from the Baal Shem Tov. When they once asked him, he explained, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Gemara writes like this. Let's say it in the right order. The Baal Shem said this point. He said that when Moshe Rabbeinu told God, Meheni na mesifrecha, erase me, take me. What did you do? You're innocent. Why should God take you? You're the only one that didn't know anything. What kind of business is that? Take me. You're the good guy. The claim against Moshe was like this. The tzaddik of the generation is able to influence all of the generation. How? His Kedusha becomes so great that the Kedusha of the tzaddik, he works on himself, but he elevates himself to such a level that anybody that's next to the tzaddik the Kedusha just overflows. The Gaon of Vilna said it, it's like you have a big keli, and you fill the big vessel, and you fill it and it overflows, and all the little vessels next to it get filled up. And then with the tzaddik of the generation, through his Kedusha, and through his Tara, and through his observance, he's like a wellspring. And the Kedusha comes in and it bubbles like a volcano, and then all of a sudden it erupts, and anybody that's next to the tzaddik also is elevated as well. So Moshe Rabbeinu held, if the Jewish people did not reach the high level of Kedusha, they did the Egel, it's my fault. Because I failed. Because must be that the Kedusha didn't permeate. And to that, Borei Olam said, no, you did your job. They corrupted it. You gave them everything you can give them. It's their fault. For example, the Gemara says, when Moshe Rabbeinu was praying to God, he says, or Moshe Rabbeinu was talking to the Jewish people, he says, Ma Hashem Elohecha shoel me'imach? What does God want from you? Jewish people, what does God want from you? Ki'im liyir'ah, all He wants you to do is fear Him. That's it, just fear Him. So the Gemara says, V'chi atu yirat shamayim miltazut retah? Why is yirat shamayim such a small thing? What does God want? Just fear Him. Yirat Hashem is a whole thing, it's a big item. And Moshe Rabbeinu plays it like it's a small thing. What does God want from you? It's like he said, what does God want from you? Just to eat a couple of donuts, have a cup of coffee. Yirat Shamayim is not a donut. Yirat Shamayim is a very difficult thing. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, what does He want from you? So you know what the Gemara says? Legabei Moshe miltazut retai. For Moshe it's a small thing. But He's talking to them. It's like להבדיל, אלפי הבדלות, בין הטמא לטהור. You have Tiger Woods, is a great golfer. You wouldn't know that. I mean, you came to class, I could corrupt you. He's a big golfer. So there's like a 20-foot putt. So for Tiger Woods, it's an easy shot. But there's an amateur, so Tiger Woods says, just put it in. Just put it in. For you, for me it's easier, but for me it's hard. So, L'Avdil, again, go to 1,000 miles away. Moshe Rabbeinu comes along and says, what does God want? God wants you to have fear of God. So the Gemara says, it's a big thing. But for Moshe, for Moshe it's easy. But you're talking to them. So you know what I heard from the Rabbanim? The Gemara is saying, yes, Legabe Moshe. To those people that are next to Moshe, it's easy, Yirat Shamayim. Legabe Moshe, those that are in the company of Moshe, Yirat Shamayim is easy because it overflows. Moshe Rabbeinu's Yirat Shamayim was contagious when you're in the presence of the tzaddik. The tzaddik's kedusha is contagious; it permeates to everybody. So the Gemara says, of course, it's easy. For Dora Midbar, they're Legabe Moshe. They're in the inner circle. Legabe Moshe miltazut retah. That was Moshe Rabbeinu's greatness. Exactly what Noah wasn't. Noah's kedusha. Noah was also a volcano, but there was a lid on the top. So all the lava and all the spiritual things that were coming out of Noah remained in Noah. It didn't. He didn't have that Legabe Noah. No, the people that were Legabe Noah were still cold. He didn't get anything. The cups were still empty. And therefore Moshe Rabbeinu, what Noah didn't give out, Moshe Rabbeinu gave out. Hence, that was his tikkun. He fixed himself and he fixed the others with him, Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe zaka v'zika. Zechut Rabim talui bo. He fixed himself and he fixed others. Now, if this is true, all that we said here tonight, we could just put one last cherry on top of the cake. There's a lot of discussion on the dimensions of the Teva. You would say, what's to discuss? It's like somebody having a discussion on the dimensions of the QE2, some boat. You could have a discussion. It's 300 by 50 by 30. The discussion is over now. What else you want to say? What could you? It's numbers. See what you want to give a Divrei Torah now on the dimensions of the Teva? So go now to Yankee Stadium, that deal, and start saying from home plate to the pitcher's mound is whatever it is, 60 yards or something. You give me the rashot now on area. Your carpenter now is going to give you a dirashah. You come to your house. Oh, I have a hadush. I just measured your from the chandelier to the ground. It's 74 inches. Gematria. What do you Gematria? But the explanation has to be God gave these dimensions. These dimensions were not made from a carpenter. God told Noah it's 300 long, 50 wide, and 30 high. I didn't make up those numbers. Now, God could have told Noah any number. He chose those numbers. It's got to mean something. And you know why I know it has to mean something? Because the Torah is telling us the dimensions. Machpati what the dimensions are. And I'll prove it to you because in Moshe's Teva, it doesn't tell me the dimensions. Because it wasn't important to know the dimensions. No, in Moshe's Teva. But in Noah's Teva, God wants every boy and girl in the yeshiva to know 300 by 50 by 30. And more importantly, God wanted Noah to know the dimensions. Because in thy dimensions lies the sin of Noah. Hence, he has to make the Tikkun for 120 years to build a Teva to fix the sin. Where was Noah's sin? In his mouth. He didn't pray for the people, nor did he rebuke the people. 300 is a sheen. 50 is a nun. And 30 is a lamed. Lamed, sheen, nun spells lashon. Therefore God says, the lashon that was ineffective, the lashon that was lacking. Now go build for 120 years to make a tikkun lashon to the teva. But lashon is spelt with a vav. Clearly, lamed shin vav nun. But this is lashon haser because Noah's lashon was haser. It was deficient. And therefore, the lashon that's haser. So these numbers are not stam. You're fixing the avon Noah. And that's why, what does Moshe Rabbeinu say many years later? Ki chevad peh v'chvad lashon. He mentions the word lashon. He knew. He says, I'm coming from the measurements of the boat. I know, kevad lashon. My lashon is pagum. But Allah said, don't worry, what do you think I brought you back for? I was thinking about you already from before Noah. Already I talked about you before the Mabul started because you're going to fix it. And he fixed it. Mehenina, bador hazeh, ki tovu. What you see from the class is two things, and we're done. I cannot go further because we have to digest what we did here. You see from the class, number one, you see that we don't know anything. And that's the main part of the lesson. We don't know anything, which means you come out of the shiur tonight and say, oh my, I don't believe what's going on over here. There's a whole world out there. I thought I knew Parashah. I thought the rabbi was going to come tell me about the giraffes. How long was the giraffe's neck? That's what I thought the shiur was going to be tonight. How many spots did the leopard have? You came for a derashah on the kangaroos. And all of a sudden you're giving me stuff. Noah, Yosef, back, forth, scanning the Torah from Aleph to Tav. So number one, you're supposed to walk out and say, okay, there's a lot out there, there's a lot of stuff that's beyond me that I'm not even aware of. Toledot Noah, he came from the Toledot, from the Gilgul, Noah, Ish Sadiq, Ish Tamim, different people, different situations. But the second lesson you learn is that this is the way you're supposed to understand the entire Torah. This is not an exception. You think, oh, this is a Noah item. Well, when we get to Lech Lecha, we can start doing the same thing with Avraham Avinu. You shouldn't think, wow, we got lucky tonight. We came to a shiur, we heard stuff like this, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime item. It's in every single week you could talk about this stuff. Because you're reading the Torah now on different glasses. You took off your regular 2015 glasses. Now you're putting on X-ray vision. X-ray vision, you see right through the Pesukim now already. Now you're able to see through the whole Chumash at one time. You see all the Pesukim, how they interconnect. Yishtabach Shemon Ahad. Asher v'harvanu mikol ha'amim v'natananu torato torat emet. You have to be humbled. How emet this Torah has to be. How can one chapter can fit with another chapter, one pasuk can fit with another pasuk, and all of it is perfect. There's no en emunah ve'en ha'avel tzaddik v'yashar hu. Like we say in the Berik Shemeh, Oraite keshot unbi'ohi keshot umaskel me'abad tavan ukshot. Everything is keshot. Keshot is emet. His Torah is emet, and everything is pure. Everything is perfect. Okay, Yiratzon and Zechut that we studied a little of these great tzaddikim, Borei Olam will fix us as well. Fix our Tikkun, Bimmi Gilgul, Bimmi Gilgul Harim, and then Be'ezrat Hashem will be able to make the ultimate Tikkun, Kishiyavo, the ultimate Metaken, the Mekabetz Galuyot, Be'ezrat Hashem, Lemarav Yameinu, Amen.